सम्यक् समाधिनिरतैर्विमलान्तरङ्गे साक्षादवेक्ष्य निजतत्त्वमपारसौख्यम् सन्तुष्यते परमहंसकुलैरजस्रम् यद्ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि केवलबोधमात्रम्।
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल।
ओम नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः। हरिः ओम। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्यां जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षमक्षीण दयानिधानम् आचार्यमाद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तं विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम् ममाद्य देवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओंकाररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तमपाकरोतु। श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरं लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं गुरुं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रम् अतास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारम् अन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततम् आनतोऽस्मि। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये शुद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। As a part of our Chaturmasya Swadhyaya Yajna, we were listening to the life and teachings of Sankaracharya. This Sankaracharya Charitram, today we are going to conclude one Mandala Kala, 40 days, full Mandalam. So, this was actually the source for life of Sankaracharya is Shankara Vijayam. The book is Shankara Vijayam, and Shankara Vijayam first known Shankara Vijayam is Anandagiri Shankara Vijayam. There are so many Shankara Vijayas, Vyasachaliya. And all those Shankara Vijayams are collected and in an abridged form. The great Vidyaranya Swami, who is, we can say, after Sankaracharya, one of the greatest luminaries in that parampara. The author of Panchadashi, the author of Anubhuti Prakasha. And there is also a confusion regarding Sayana and Vidyaranya, who wrote the commentary for Vedas. So anyway, he was one of the mighty sages in the parampara of Sringeri. So he wrote the Shankara Vijayam, which is called Madhaviya Shankara Vijayam, which is because his name is Madhava Vidyaranya. And there is arguments against, pro and against also, that the Vidyaranya who wrote Panchadashi is different and Shankara Vijayam is different. These all things are there. With all that basic stories, so many debates are there about the life. All that were compiled, and the basic authority is Shankaracharya's own words and his disciples' words. That is all taken, and from that was written this Atmatirtham. Based on Atmatirtham, we spoke Shankaracharya's life for all these days, and Atmatirtham has come in so many languages. Of course, all South Indian languages, then Hindi, then Telugu, English, French, Swedish, so many languages it has come. So based on Atmatirtham, this talk happened. And Atmatirtham contains not only the story part, it contains the entire essence of Shankaracharya's teaching also. The stotras, Prakarana Grantha, Bhashya, everything. Almost every facet is touched. So it's the very seed of that book is contemplation of life and teachings of Shankaracharya. It is a meditation. So it's a vibhuti, actually, what we call a vibhuti. So when you read Atmatirtham, you get the story part is like a flavor, like adding sugar. But the main thing is the Atma Vidya, knowledge of the self. Everywhere it is there. And you will get the entire essence, the cream, through the book. So, now today we are going to conclude. Shankaracharya's life did not end by this. Shankara Vijayam says, Shambhoho Murtihi Charati Bhuvane Shankaracharya Rupa. Shiva gave up his maunam and came down as Shankaracharya, emanating the knowledge of the self. And he is moving about. It is not past tense, it is present tense. Whoever has absorbed that teaching, realized the self, whoever has got that jnana, he is a form of Sankaracharya. And so many acharyas have come in that parampara. Sringeri, Joshi Mat, Puri, Dwaraka, Kanchi, and not only this, many small mutts are there. Many great Mahatmas have come in that parampara. And many have come without any matha also. And many institutions that came recently like Ramakrishna Mat, they all belong to Sankaracharya parampara, Puri parampara. The sage who gave Upadesha to Ramakrishna, Totapuri, belonged to that Puri parampara. So many traditions have come from that parampara. And now we have in Sringeri Acharya Bharati-tirtha Swami. We generally refer to him with respect as Mahasannidhanam. He is almost 75 years old now. Almost 50 years of sannyasa. Now many devotees were celebrating Acharya's 50 years of sannyasa. So we are, while concluding this 40 days talk, let this be also an offering to all the Acharya parampara. And especially in this occasion of Bharati-tirtha Swami's 50th year of sannyasa, we remember that great sage, mighty tapasvi. For many years, we also had association with Swamiji, and our sannyasa also after Bharati-tirtha Swami himself, when we went there, he himself gave Kashaya Vastram, and Sannidhanam gave Rudraksha and Brahmasutra Bhashya. So it's almost like from his hand itself it was given. So we are offering this pravachana parampara to all the traditional acharyas who have lived that life. And Bharati-tirtha Swami is a mighty scholar. Very balanced in his life. Never compromising with the tradition. Even at this age, he continues to inspire people to do his Chandramaulishwara Puja. And the parampara continues. Sannidhanam Vidushekara Bharati Swami also, a very saintly soul. Now he is doing the work of Sankaracharya, Dharma Prachara. In the same way, now in Kanchi also we have this parampara, and North, Puri Mat. We do not much know about the North Indian tradition, but everywhere this Sankaracharya parampara is there. And anyone who lives that life belongs to Sankaracharya parampara only. As we said, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also comes in the same tradition of sages. Although Bhagavan came independently, just like any Shaivite saint, Bhagavan got initiation directly from Shiva, Arunachala. And like Dakshinamurti, more of the Mauna. Regarding Sankaracharya, we say Hitva Maunam Vatavitapino Mulato Nishpatanti. Giving up Maunam, he came down as Sankaracharya. But when he came down as Ramana Bhagavan, Maunam also was there, teaching was also there. So, yesterday, where did we stop? Yes, Badri. There Sankaracharya gave the teaching of Gauḍapāda Acharya. There was a very beautiful shloka. We chanted and stopped that. Samsaradhvani tapabhanu kirana prodbhuta dahavyatha khinnanam. For whom is this spiritual teaching? This spiritual teaching is for those who have a real thirst. It is not mere inquisitiveness, it is the burning thirst, longing for peace, shanti. How does it arise? Samsaradhvani tapabhanu kirana prodbhuta dahavyatha khinnanam. Wandering in this samsara. Samsara means what? Ignorant life. Life without the knowledge, without knowledge of the self. Life without spiritual understanding, without peace of mind. Wandering in the desert of this world, nowhere you see water. The deep thirst for peace arises within, shanti. For those people, Jalakamchaya marubhuvi bhrantya paribhramyatam. You have to seek water in places where there is water, but we are searching in desert. And you see water in desert. What is it called? Mirage. From distance you see there is a river running. You run and go there, no water. Then you look back, water is here. This is our life. Born in India, especially in Tiruvannamalai, and you dream, when will I go to America? I will get a job there and go to America. After so much studies, everything, you go there. After that, thinking about Tiruvannamalai. How happy I was there going around Arunachala, now everything is lost, when will I come back? So this happens. This is, from here you look, water is there. From there you look, water is here. So, marubhuvi bhrantya paribhramyatam, due to delusion, running helter-skelter here, there, everywhere. While the fulfilling water, spring is already there inside you, in your own heart. You fail to look there. Atyasanna sudambudhim. Very, very near, very, very intimate ocean of nectar is there in your heart. Atyasanna sudambudhim sukhakaram, which will give you great happiness, contentment. Brahmadvayam, Advayam Brahma, the non-dual Brahman, darshayanti, showing you, revealing to you that state, that water there, that ocean there. Esha Sankaracharya Vijayate. This Sankaracharya, words of Sankaracharya, teaching of Sankaracharya, what does it give you? Nirvana Sandayini. It gives you nirvana. It gives you the happiness of nirvana. This is what yesterday we stopped. So when you have the true thirst, then only spiritual life is of any use. When your heart burns with thirst for shanti, that samadhi, spiritual life, one word you can put, it is samadhi. And samadhi means shanti. It means atma. It is another name for the self. You recognize that shanti is your real nature. You unearth that peace within you. Discover that peace within you. That is true spiritual life. It is neither in scholarliness, scholasticity, nor in any yogic feat, nor in name and fame. These are all distractions. Simple peace is spirituality. Shanti. That is why after chanting all Vedic mantras, we stop by saying Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So after concluding the reflections on Gauḍapāda Karika, Acharya was seen to be absorbed in Samadhi in Badri Dhama. Now they are in Badri Dhama. So in Badri, in a place, in a solitary place, Acharya was sitting absorbed in deep Samadhi. His body was golden hued, his face beatific, and eyes like a lotus petal. Every part of his body appeared perfect like a sculpted image. His eyes were open, but this was a worldless vision. Niraloka drishti. No world in that eyes. You can see people saw that in Bhagavan. He will be looking at you, but nothing is there in that eyes. That Akasha, that infinitude alone is there. So, he was obvious to anyone who saw him that his mind was merged somewhere in the ocean of infinite calmness in the heart. In his presence, everyone experienced profound peace and stillness. This is Sankaracharya calls as Nishala Tattva. Nishala Tattve Jivan Mukti. The sign of Jivan Mukti, liberation, is this Nishala Tattva. The Nishalata is there. Still. Humphreys wrote about Bhagavan. His body was still like a dead corpse. But through his eyes, God was radiating terrifically. These were his words. So it is not actually physical stillness. Even if a Jivan Mukta is active, there is that Nishalata. And the purpose of Satsanga is that Nishalata. Satsangatve, Nisangatvam, Nisangatve, Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve, Nishalatatvam, Nishalatatve, Jivan Mukti. In Satsanga, you listen. What are you listening? You are listening about your own real nature. You get the knowledge that you are not the body, you are Atma, you are that Shuddha Chaitanya Vastu. Then you contemplate on that, meditate on that, realize. Then the mind gets absorbed in that, then you get Nishalata, Nishalatatva. The person becomes liberated. In that silence, that Samadhi, Acharya was sitting one day at dusk, while this ochre-robed, golden-hued sage, smeared with ashes and wearing Rudraksha, was seated in Virasana atop a rock. A bright white effulgence appeared before him. Gradually, the form of a divine yogi emerged from that light. Immediately, Acharya divined, intuited by subtle intelligence that it was Bhagavan Gauḍapāda. His Paramacharya, Govinda Bhagavat Pada, Sankaracharya has seen, but not Gauḍapāda Acharya. Acharya stood up with folded hands and tears filled his eyes. Padmapada also had the good fortune of witnessing the divine manifestation. Sometimes such things happen. But he was unable to understand the silent conversation that took place between them. Shortly afterwards, the vision vanished like the sunset. After quite some time, the following divine stotras flowed out of Acharya. Acharya wrote 2 verses on Gauḍapāda Acharya. प्रज्ञावैशाखवेधक्षुभितजलनिधेः वेदनाम्नोऽन्तरस्थं भूतानि आलोक्यमग्नानि अविरतजननग्राहघोरे समुद्रे कारुण्याद् उद्दधारामृतमिदममरैः दुर्लभं भूतहेतोः यस्तं पूज्याभिपूज्यं परमगुरुममुं पादपातैः नमस्ये पादपातैः नतोऽस्मि. I prostrate again and again before that worshipful Paramaguru who has churned the milky ocean of the Vedas with the churning rod of his intelligence and has brought out the nectar of Advaita, rare even to the Devas, and out of infinite compassion has given it to the Jivas drowned in the miserable ocean of samsara, infested with the crocodiles of birth and death. The samsara ocean is full of that. Janana, Marana, Graha, Ghora. And one more verse. Yat prajñā lokabhāsam pratihatimagamāt svanta mohandhakaraha majjon majjaccha ghore hyasakrd upajano danvati trasaneme yat pādau ashritānam Shruti Shama Vinaya Praptihi Agriyahi Amogha Tat Padau Pavaniyo Bhavabhaya Vinudau Sarvabhavaihi Namasye. Yat Padau Ashritanam, those who take refuge in that Guru's feet. Seeing the disciple, you can infer the Guru. So the disciple should be more conscious because he is representing his Guru. Yat Padau Ashritanam, what all call it is Shruti, the knowledge of Upanishad, knowledge of Atma Vidya is shining in him, Shama, and very peaceful, very calm, Vinaya, very humble. All these qualifications are there, Amogha, they are all there. They will never go waste. That holy feet of such a great Guru, when you take refuge, Sharanagati, all these divine qualities manifest. By his grace, one crosses the ocean of samsara. Otherwise in samsara we are majjon majjat. Again and again sinking into it. Once in a while we get a satsanga, then you go back to the world, you forget everything, have the difficulties. Again you come back to satsanga. It is like these flies, They sometimes go and sit in sweet, sometimes in the drainage also. Everywhere it goes and sits. Like that, the mind of a worldly person, or you can say not a complete worldly person, a little bit of spirituality also has come. So once in a while you go to satsanga, go to temple, go to see Mahatmas, and next moment you forget everything. You take the magic box, you forget everything. So, these two verses Acharya sang on Gauḍapāda Acharya. After a long while, all the main disciples approached Acharya, prostrated and stood before him. Acharya sat for a long while without saying anything or even flickering his eyes. Then his eyes moved with waves of affection and deep compassion. He remarked, "We know why all of you are here. Padmapada's darshana is genuine. The Acharya whose karika we had been reflecting upon himself has appeared before us. The worshipful Guru of Gauda Desha is highly pleased with us. Compared to his blessings and acceptance, titles such as Sarvajna are very insignificant. When the greatest thing that one can be happy about is that by your life your guru becomes happy. By your life, yaya tushyati adhokshajaha. As Bhagavata says, bhakti is not that you become happy by doing bhakti, but Bhagavan is happy by your bhakti. And how do you know Bhagavan is happy? One way of that is you see Bhagavan's happiness through your guru. When your guru feels happy about you, then your bhakti is complete. Otherwise, that bhakti is also only for your own pleasure. So true bhakti is yaya tushyati adhokshajaha. As in Bhagavata, and now we have another question. How will we know whether Bhagavan is happy? Bhagavan said in Gita, I will be happy if these signs are seen in a devotee. I like such a devotee. What is that? Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrah karunayevacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukakshami santushtas satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishayah mayyarpita manobuddhihi yomad bhaktas same priyaha. That bhakta, he is very dear to me. And what is the qualities? Adveshta, no hatred at all to anyone. He cannot hate. One sign of a true devotee is hatred is impossible. He cannot stay with hatred. Dvesha. And then Maitraha, not only that no hatred, somebody whom I do not know, I will not hate. Maitri Bhava, friendship. See, a Jnani, Bhagavata says, he has nothing of his own. So he is a friend for all. Sarva Bhuta Suhrit Shantaha. A friend of all. Maitri Bhava. Swami Ramanacharanatirtha went to America without any money, without any luggage. In those days he went by ship. Everyone said, what will you do? Who will look after you? I think in San Francisco or some place, he had to get down from the ship. He had no place to go also. Who will look after him? And one person came to him and asked, are you going to get down here? He said, yes. Don't you have any luggage bag with you? No, Rama carries nothing. Then he, like a child, he used to refer to himself as Rama. Then he asked, don't you have money? No, Rama carries no money. He said, so you must be having some friends here. Yes. Who is that? You are. He said, you are my friend. And for 2 years that person looked after him. Took care of him. Everything was taken care of. So that is positive. Maitraha. Friendship with everyone. And karuna yevacha. Karunya. That is much more dynamic. Compassion. See, these three qualities, Patanjali says, you want your mind to be peaceful, have Maitri Bhava with whoever is happy. Seeing their happiness, you become happy. Don't burn. With that. So, Maitri, Mudita, friendship with Samabuddhi, Mudita, happiness with those who are happy, Karuna, those who are suffering, you feel Karunyam, compassion. And there will be someone to criticize you, to speak against you, to hate you, Upeksha, ignore. Don't eat that food. Don't consume that. It will unnecessarily disturb you. So, this is by this chitta prasada. Patanjali says the mind will become clear. This qualifications only in Gita also Krishna takes. The same thing Bhagavata also takes. Ishvare tad adhineshu balisheshu dvishatsucha prema maitri krupa upeksha yahkaroti samadhyamaha. Bhakti to Ishvara, friendship with devotees, compassion to those who are suffering, and those who are negative. Upeksha, ignore them, don't think about them. One who does this is a good devotee. So this way the mind becomes pleasant. So, such a devotee, Bhagavan says, I like. And if the disciple is like this, the Guru also feels happy about the disciple. And a happiness that comes in the mind of Guru is the greatest power which transmits the knowledge. So this is how the disciple makes the master happy. So Acharya says, Padmapada also saw that divine vision. So Sankaracharya was doing this Gauḍapāda Karika teaching, and they had the vision of Gauḍapāda Acharya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whoever studies Bhagavad Gita and shares it with fellow devotees, he is very dear to me. Adhyeshyate cha imam dharmyam samvadam avayoho jnana yajnena. As a jnana yajna, such a devotee is very, very dear to me. So that is, here Acharya had the vision of Gauḍapāda, and compared to his blessings, all recognitions from the world are all insignificant. Our Paramacharya composed the Gauḍapāda Karika right here in this beautiful place near Badri Ashrama, where we are staying now. All of you must encourage your disciples to contemplate deeply on Mandukya Karika. Everyone will become Brahmanishtas. On the way to Badri, for a while at Jyotirdhama, the king of that region belonged to Katyuri dynasty. He welcomed the Digvijaya Vahani with respect and devotion. On this occasion, the king requested Acharya to establish a Vedic mutt at Badri Dham. Many discussions took place in this regard. Acharya remained silent, leaving the decision to the disciples. After many days, King Sudhanva also arrived there with his entourage. Accompanied by them, Acharya arrived at Badri. Acharya sang hymns of devotion on Badrinatha. Yam brahmakyam devamananyam paripurnam hritstam bhaktaihi labhyamajam sukshmam atarkyam dhyatvatmastham brahmavidoyam vidurisham tam samsaradhvanta vinasham harim ide hitva drishyamashesham savikalpam matva shishtam bhadrishimatram gaganabham tyaktva deham yam pravishanti achyuta bhaktaha tam samsaradhvanta vinasham harim ide. We have already commented upon these verses. So Acharya had composed the 43 shlokas of Harimidestava while he was in Badri earlier. In this hymn, the Lord is worshipped in mellifluous verses that string together the essence of the Upanishads. In fact, Brahmavidya is the essential theme of all the devotional hymns composed by Acharya on different deities. Meditating on one's Ishta Devatas while being mindful of their Upanishadic significance gradually leads to the knowledge of the self. Undoubtedly, self-knowledge alone leads to ultimate happiness. Acharya saw Badrisha decked in precious jewels in the beautiful temple, where worship was conducted meticulously in the prescribed manner. Badri Dham glowed with a rare brilliance. The cool bluish hue of Samadhi combined with the snow-white lustre of self-knowledge filled the atmosphere with a rare fragrance. There was a pleasant snowfall like a shower of flowers. Although ever established in the silence of being, Acharya, the emperor of monks, was overcome with ecstasy, emperor amongst poets we have to say, and composed several hymns. Nityananda Sudha Nidhehe Adhikatas Sannila Megha Satam Outkanthya Prabala Prabhanjana Bharaihi Akarshito Varshati Vijnanamritam Adbhutam Nijavacho Dharabhihi Araditam Chetashatakacenna Vanchasi Trishakrantosi Suptosi Kim. The Guru is asking, O mind, you are like the Chataka bird, is the hornbill. Generally, there is a poetical imagination that it will not drink water from ground. It will only drink from the water which falls directly from the clouds. So, like that Chataka bird is a true devotee. He will not take the knowledge from Google, not even the books. He will only take the knowledge directly from the source, from where it comes from Anubhuti. So, such Chatakas are waiting for that shower. And clouds arise from the ocean of bliss, spiritual experience. But the clouds can shower in the ocean itself. Some wind has to bring those clouds to our area. And what is that wind? That wind is the longing of the devotees. That longing that arises, Autkantya, anxiety for realization, thirst for that Bhagavad Bhakti, that hunger for spiritual experience, purity, sadhana, when all that combined becomes a powerful wind that brings that cloud of spiritual experience to our presence, and there it pours forth. Vijnana amritam nijavacho dharabhihi adbhutam. That wonderful downpour of that rain, when it is giving you so much of spiritual bliss, my dear mind, don't you sleep. Acharya says, Suptosi kim, are you sleeping? Wake up. Drink that nectar and be awakened, be immortal. So the disciples, like the Chataka birds, revelled in the nectarine shower of Vijnana, rained by the divine cloud, impregnated with the waters of Paramananda, absolute bliss, after having partaken Śivāparādha-kshamāpaṇa-Stotra from the ocean of eternal bliss. Gone forever were their desire to perform motivated actions, desire to know, jitnyasa, desire to renounce, jihasa, and desire to attain, prepsa. After staying at Badri for some days, Acharya and his group walked again towards Kedar. They visited all the holy places on the way. Acharya's Digvijaya had such an impact in these parts that rituals of worship were conducted in all temples in the prescribed manner. They reached Kedar and had darshan of the Lord who dwells there as the embodiment of unconditional supreme benediction, Nirvishesha Paramashiva. Acharya extolled the majestic Kedareshwara thus as Dakshinamurti. Om ityedadhyasya budhaihi namagrihitam yadbhasedam bhati samastam viyadadi yasyajñātah swasvapadastha vidhimukyāh tam pratyanjam dakshinavaktram kalayami. Om ityedadhyasya budhaihi namagrihitam. I meditate on that Dakshinamurti, who is realized as Om by the knowers, whose effulgence illumines all elements from space to earth. I meditate on Dakshinamurti, who is the implied essence of Om. He is worshipped as Om by the knowers, Brahmavit, whose effulgence illumines all elements like earth, water, fire, air and space, and glows in my heart as Atman. In this hymn, each letter of the Meda Dakshinamurti mantra occurs at the beginning of each verse. Acharya said to the devotees, if the mind does not meditate on Shiva, it will meditate only on Shava, the dead, the body. Therefore, meditate on Shiva. Shiva essentially means the self. Those who meditate on the 5-lettered Panchakshara Shiva mantra with this understanding will soon gain self-realization. The Brahmin priest of the temple came for Acharya's darshan and said, Lord, although I perform the worship of Lord Shiva, there is a lingering fear within me that some defects may be there. Acharya responded, O noble one, the Lord is full of compassion. The Lord, who is like a mother to all, Matrubhuteshwara, will not be angry at our defects. He will rectify them and reform us spiritually. Anyway, we will compose a hymn for the purification of your mind. Continue your worship and chant this. This is Śivāparādha-kshamāpaṇa-Stotra. Acharya then composed and gave him the Śivāparādha-kshamāpaṇa-Stotra. Ādau karma prasangat kalayati kalusham matrukukshav sthitam mam vinmutra medhya madhye kvathayati nitaram jatharo jatavedaham yadyadvai tatra dukkham vyadhayati nitaram shakyate kena vaktum ksantavyo me aparādhaha shiva 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 bho Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Hridyam Vedanta Vedyam Hridaya Sarasije Deeptam Udyat Prakasham Satyam Shanta Swarupam Sakala Munimanashanda Padma Shandaika Vedyam Jagrat Swapane Sushuptau Triguna Virahitam Shankaram Nasmarami Shandavyo Me Aparādhaha Shiva 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 Bho Shri Mahadeva Shambho. You should be awake to the seriousness of spiritual life. Here Sankaracharya says, every day our ayu, our duration of life is decreasing, not increasing. Should be conscious. Somebody told today, this is the second Kumbhabhishekam that I am seeing. Means 12 years gone. So many Kumbhabhishekams I have seen, so much life gone. So many years have passed. Ayuhu nashyati pashyatam pratidinam. Every day the calendar, you just take the paper out. One day gone. You cannot rewind. Ayuhu nashyati pashyatam pratidinam. While seeing every day, like water going from a pot with many holes, like that life is fast decreasing. Yati kshayam yauvanam. Youth is also going. Soon old age comes. For some more time your mind will think, still I am 25. That is why in our tradition, the 60-year-old function is done, Shashti Purti. Everyone will come and tell you are 60 years old. You are 60. Otherwise you won't remember, You should be mature. Still don't act like 25. At least now be a mature person. And some other message is, that man, is waiting. Not simple man. He is waiting there in his buffalo bike. Buffalo bike, Yamaha. That is, he is waiting there. Any time he will come. I don't know who named it like that. So he is waiting there. Any time he will come. So, Pratidinam, every day, your ayu, your life is slowly decreasing. Life is short, it goes to naught every day. Youth pales and fades away. Days pass never to return. Pratyayanti gataha punarna divasaha. Like the time feeds on the world. Kala is eating the world, eating your life. Kalo Jagat Bhakshakaha. This Kala is great devourer. Lakshmi Toya Taranga Bhanga Chapala. Money, it goes like bubble. Now it is there, tomorrow it is not there. Suddenly somebody becomes rich, someone becomes poor. Someone becomes great authority, next day nobody. A king, then a poor man. Lakshmi Toya Taranga Bhanga Chapala. You observe the world, you can see all this happening around you. By intelligent observance, one can get a tremendous energy, dispassion, vairagya, which is absolute necessity for spiritual life. It is a fundamental thing, foundation for true spiritual life. You observe the world, then you find that all is vanity, vanity, vanity everywhere. Tasmat vidyuchalam jivitam. Someone you see yesterday, tomorrow you hear is gone. Like a lightning, it ends. Vidyuchalam jivitam. Hence, therefore, tasmat, he karunakara, he Bhagavan, who is the embodiment of compassion, don't ask me what yogyata I have. Don't ask me what qualification I have. I have no qualification. That is my qualification. The only law by which you can rescue me is grace, kripa, karunaya, no other way. See, when you absolutely realize that all your activities are nothing but the movement of ego, and you recognize by your doing you are not going to attain, then you wake up to the stream of kripa, grace. So I surrender, O Lord, at your feet. Thus Acharya wrote this verse. And in Kedar, the cold was severe. So in that severe cold, devotees were all finding it very difficult. And Acharya, by his mighty power, he said, dig in this place. And they did some digging. There they recognized a hot spring. Very hot spring. And that was a great support for them there. And thus they were staying there. One ascetic then approached Acharya and asked, we have listened to the knowledge of the self, but how can we meditate on the self? How can we meditate on the Atman? Acharya said, child, meditation is only a process of the mind. Jnana is the very nature of the self. The mind usually meditates on the objects of the senses, what you see, what you think, with form. So, to withdraw it from that field, meditating I am Brahman is the best way. To withdraw the mind from the world, you can meditate Aham Brahmasmi. This may be called Shabdanuviddha Samadhi, concentration invoked by words of deep implication, like Manobuddhya Hankara Chittaninaham. All this Shabda is used, Sloka is used. With that, the mind becomes still. That is Shabdanuviddha Samadhi. By the power of Shabda, the mind remains in repose. One must think I am Brahman and immerse the mind in that current of thought. Constantly remember that I am that Brahman, I am that pure self, I am the infinite pure consciousness which is infinite like the space, like the sky. I am untouched by anything. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punaha. Sachidananda rupoham ahamevaham avyayaha. Remembering that all is Brahman, sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Even when external forms are seen, is bahya shabdanuviddha samadhi. Invoking samadhi with the Mahavakyas even while seeing the world. See, these ideas are all there in Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraham. Then this disciple asked, Lord, the idea I am a man is so natural. Manushyoham. Acharya said, does the idea I am a man prevail in you? Do you think you are I am a man, I am a man? The only thing that is natural for everyone is the sense of existence as I am. Nothing is added to it. It is just I am. Even the body is a thing that is seen, sensed. The awareness I am is the only experience. That alone is natural. Astityeva upalabdhavyasya upalabdhasya tatvabhavah prasidati. As the Kathopanishad puts it, hold, behold, recognize the truth within you as mere existence, as the I am. You stay there, abide in that, then you will have what is sakshatkara, realization. Tattvamasi, that you are. That is the essence. When you get acquainted with absolute existence and realize that it is the essence of the I, its beatitude will seep through your mind and begin to shine forth clearly. The mind is the limitation that arises when one is not acquainted with that, the Sat, existence. Then one disciple asked, Krishna Keshi asked, what is yoga? Acharya, hey Krishna Keshi, where the 5 activities of the senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching are not, where the apprehensions and misapprehensions of the mind are not, where the intellect that makes conclusions remain quiet, where the screen of not knowing is not, and where the effulgence of Shuddha Bodha, pure awareness alone is known uninterruptedly, that indeed is yoga. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasasah buddhishana vicheshtate tam ahuhu paramam gatim tam yogamiti manyante sthiram indriya dharanam apramattastada bhavati yogo hi prabhavapyayo. This is the Kathopanishad. According to Shruti, yoga occurs when the mind enters the heart. Hrida manisha manasabi kripto yayenam viduhu. Entering the heart with awareness is yoga. Entering with ignorance is sleep. Sarvanartha sanyoga viyoga lakshanahiyam avastha yoginaha. This state which releases the yogi from the grip of all miseries and bestows absolute restfulness in the heart, is yoga. Pratyaksham hi etad ajitakaranataya bahya vishaya asanga anrita prarudhatvat naharde brahmani manastishtati. Why the mind refuses to abide in the heart? Because of lack of sense control. The mind filled with the illusions of external attachments fails miserably to get anchorage in the heart. In the heart Brahman, that is what he calls Harda Brahman. Only those who have won over the mind and the senses through upasana are seen to rest perfectly in the heart space. Upasanaya vashikarati saha pratipadyate hardam brahma. All the meditation, upasana, pranayama, japa, bhakti, satsanga, everything is needed for what? For purifying the mind and putting the senses in order. Without that, even if you manage to go inside, you will be pulled out. What is the difference between that state and sleep? Acharya, this state is not like sleep. Here there are neither projections like I, he, you, etc. or veiling of this as in sleep. Etasyam hi avasthayam avidya adhyaropana varjita swarupa pratishtha atma. Here there is an uninterrupted abidance in the real nature, the Atman. The yogi does profound contemplation on the self, and as the sacred culmination of the practice merges in the state of samadhi. One has to read these portions. I am not reading everything. So much wealth is there, treasure is there here. Those who want to know it, they can read this portion in the book. So, here unlike the sleep, the mind merges in the heart with the seed of enlightenment in its womb. Sat pratyaya garbha. Hence it wakes up from this state luminous and fully enlightened. Therefore the experience of truth is not absent in yoga as it is in sleep. When desires of the mind becomes totally extinct due to Brahma Vichara, one becomes absorbed in samadhi. Desires are the fragments of avidya. These are merely shadow ropes that bind one from within. If one reflects only on the I that occurs constantly in all thoughts, such as I am this body, this is my health, I am happy, I am sad, and inquires into its real nature, it will be known clearly that I am the pure Atman, unaffected by samsara. Then all desires are burnt up. Athamartyaha amruto bhavati atra brahma samashnute. He becomes a brahmanishta this very moment. This is the essence of Vedanta. First, you must have faith that such a state of samadhi does exist. That can be had only by being with a self-realized sage. This Shraddha, it wakes up only when you see someone who abides in that state. If this Shraddha is awakened, the Lord will reveal the Brahmi Sthiti, like the opening of a lotus bud. First thing is, somehow the faith blossoms. Then the anubhuti naturally happens. That is the easiest way. Astityeva upalabdhavyaha. One should attain it by the conviction that it exists. But how will you have that conviction? You have that conviction by satsanga. Tasyesha atma vivrunute tanum swam. To him, the Atman will reveal, open the door from within, reveal himself. So, what is the Upanishadic authority for sannyasa? This is another question. Yathacha bahyalokatrayartinaha pratiniyatani putradini sadhanani vihitani evam atmalokartinaha sarveshana nivrittihi parivrajyam brahmavidaha vidhiyate eva. Just as grihasthashrama is prescribed in the karmakanda of the Vedas for those who desire worldly achievements, Parivrajya or sannyasa, which enables one to be free of all bondages, is prescribed for those earnest seekers who wish to inquire within and attain self-knowledge. Thus, so many samvada, conversations happened there. Everyone was overwhelmed by Acharyapada's compassion. The Jnana Ganga that flowed from ocean in the south to the Himalayas in the north purified entire country of Bharata. By the unitive vision born of Advaitic knowledge, Acharya integrated people of different traditions and different opinions who lived with mutual hatred and conflict. Swasiddhanta vyavastasu dvaitino nishchitadridam parasparam virudhyante taihi ayam na virudhyate. Though dualists mutually hate each other in their enthusiasm to establish their own points of view, we have no conflict with anyone. For us, everyone is the self alone. This was Acharya's message. He bound everyone together with the silken thread of supreme love, appointing North Indians in the south and South Indians in the north for worship and for guidance in religious practices. See, this separating mentality will constantly come unless some great teacher comes and collects everything. Again and again people will assert. See, again, after freedom, only few years have passed. We have started Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra. What is this? All separative mentality with language. And I am greater than you, you are greater than me, I am the oldest language. This is the oldest language. Simply based on language, people hate. Very silly things. Because this ignorance is so deep rooted, which is the source for arrogance, for separation, everything. So, unless you have such a great teacher to collect everything, to make everything into one whole, either you go to a great teacher, then he will collect everything and make it one self. Or you go to this end also. The only place where people have no separation is getting married. That is easiest. Then again separation begins. So this is the problem of this Dvaita Buddhi. So, Uttaram yat samudrasya himadreshaiva dakshinam. This is called Bharata Varsha. Then having fulfilled the divine mission, Acharya Shankara Bhagavad-Pada, as pure as fire, was sitting on the bank of Mandagini at Kedar. He appeared serene like the blue sky after the rains. Though Acharya was physically tired, his very presence was refreshing. He was at rest in the sublime, cool ocean of peace. Even in the extreme cold weather of Kedar, he lived much beyond the body, absorbed in the self. Padmapada and others prostrated to Acharya after chanting a shloka from Totakashtakam. Karuna varunalaya palaya mam bhavasagara dukkha viduna hritam rachaya akhila darshana tattvavidam bhavashankara deshikame sharanam. Acharya smiled, looking at them with compassion. Chitsuka remained prostrated at Acharya's feet for a long time. He arose only when Acharya said, Uttishtata, wake up. Lord, you must live for 100 years, as stated in the Vedas, and bless all of us. Acharya said, Chitsuka, how can you, gifted with the knowledge of the Shruti, speak in this manner? Where is time for us? I am beyond time. To me, birth or death can never be. Namrityur na janma name vyadhirashihi chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I do not have death, I do not have birth, I do not have any sickness, any disease. I am the chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. We wish to see these forms of yours for a long time. He put it in some other words, because he smelt something. Acharya said, Aho Maya. This is Maya, Chitsuka. One who regards the Guru as the body will get entrapped in Maya like any other worldly person. Be careful. Neither you nor I have had a body or mind at any time. The snake in the rope has no existence. Even when you are deluded, even when you have woken up to reality. I am the self, you are also the self. You are the Atma. Be perpetually established in the supreme consciousness. Do not mistake me for the body. Like a snake in a rope, don't consider me as the body. Dear, you are extremely dear to me. That is why I am saying this. Listen. I am you, you are me. There is no difference between us. Tvamevaham, tvamevaham, tvamevaham. Abide in the self always. Any thought about the anatma, non-self, even if it is about the guru, brings in misery. Bliss is only in the self. Son, forgetting this is hell. Beware. Chitsuka, Lord, I am able to grasp all that you say. Yet I am not able to forget this divine form. Acharya, thinking, remembering and forgetting are all activities of the brain. I am that changeless existence, consciousness, bliss, which shines constantly beyond all this. I am the auspicious one, Shiva. I have no form. I am eternally formless. You must know me as the self that shines as the immediate direct experience. For those who know me as such, I never cease to exist. Always remember the meaning of this mantra. Brahmatam paradadyo atmano anyatra brahmaveda. All that is seen as apart from the self, from Brahman, be it the guru, father, mother, child, wife, husband, or shastra, world, God, or knowledge. Anything that you see other than yourself will leave you one day, giving you extreme pain. So remain without a slip, always in the self as I am that. Vishnu Mitra. Lord, although we are Brahman itself, why do we forget it? Acharya said, forgetfulness is the nature of the buddhi, intellect. Remembrance too. Your Brahmi Bhava, Brahma Bhava is beyond this. Actually, forgetfulness and remembrance appear in the pure experience of Brahman. Brahmanubhava is not veiled by your forgetfulness. Shravana, etc. are antidotes for the intellect's forgetfulness. When one recollects it, he experiences joy, like the one who gives up the sorrow of losing her necklace and becomes happy upon recognizing that it was never lost, as it was on her neck all along. That is it. Janan ajananscha. Whether you know it or do not know it, sarvo jantuhu brahmaiva. All creatures are Brahman. Tathapi tattvamasi iti pradibodhidaha. Even though it is like that, when the Guru tells you tattvamasi, vidwan sadeva nanyaha asmi iti janan sadeva bhavati. Whether they know it or not, all are Brahman or pure existence. Yet the wise one, when told by the Guru, you are that, tattvamasi, truly becomes that with firm conviction. He realizes, I am that existence alone, nothing else. In deep sleep, although everyone remains merged like this in that supreme peaceful existence, samprasada, only the one who has the recognition identifies with it as I am that. Realization is the recognition of one's true identity. Ahamasmi sarvatma param brahmeti nishchitamatihi brahmano bhavati vidyayam utkrishyamānāyam swayam apachīyamānā sati vidyayam utkrishyamānāyam swayam apachīyamānā sati kashtangatayam vidyayam avidyayam apakrishyamāna apachīyamānā sati. இங்கே ஒரு மிஸ்டேக் இருக்குது, பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். இந்த இடத்துல பிரதாரணிக பாஷ்யம் லாஸ்டில் போர்ஷன் மார்க் sarvatmana nivartate. When the ignorance is destroyed and knowledge reaches its zenith, sarvatma bhava, the awareness I am all, will arise. This is liberation. Lord, will everyone get rid of avidya by listening? Certainly, because avidya is not the natural state. It is just a thought in the mind. while one's real nature is pure consciousness, ever existence. One who sees duality has fear. Etra taditara itaram pashyati dvidiyadvai bhayam bhavati. When one sees the self everywhere, ko moha, where is delusion, where is sorrow? Ekatvam anupashyataha. Then Padmapada asked, Acharya prayed to Sankaracharya to give him the essence of Advaita Vedanta. And you know what Acharya gave? He said the Nirvana Dashakam, Dashashloki, which he sang when he was in the presence of Govinda Bhagavad-pada, when he was 8 years old. It is complete. See, when Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi wrote, Who am I? To Śivāparādha-kshamāpaṇa-Stotra, that was his first work. The same stands now also as perfect, because no gradation. First you have some knowledge, then it goes up. No gradation in Atma Vidya. It is same. Yesterday he was telling me 30 years listening to the same teaching, same stories, same examples. Sometimes even the joke is same and the joy is also same. And he was asking, what is the magic behind this? Because it is your real nature, it is your Swarupa. You are listening to your own Swarupa. And you can never get bored with it. It is your Swarupa. Somebody recently who heard one of my first public talk, 1990. Recently he was telling, what you spoke that day, you are speaking now also. The same thing. The same teaching, no difference, no change, nothing. So there is no gradation at all. It is once the sun rises, it rises. That's all. Sagrid vibhadoyam brahmalokaha. So that is it. So here Acharya gave that nirvana dashakam. Na bhumir na toyam na tejo na vayuhu na kham nindriyam va na tesham samuhaha anaikantikatvat sushupteka siddhastadego vasishta shiva kevaloham. While Acharya was conversing thus, immersed in the bliss of the experience of Brahman, King Sudhanva said, Lord, now you need some rest. We have not heard of anyone who has undertaken such a lengthy Digvijaya, met so many people, composed so many Vedantic texts and enlightened so many earnest seekers. What even rishis like Vyasa accomplished over an extended period of time, you have achieved in a short span. You love the bliss of solitude, but we have dragged you amid people. Please bless us that sin of dragging you thus does not affect us. Thy body needs rest. Acharya, O King, the desire for rest is a sign of identification with the body. Rest is only in the self. One who has known the self is ever at rest in Turiya. However, what you say is also a fact. The ordained purpose of this body is over. The motivation to act has completely disappeared. Chikirsha. Sudhanva, Lord, we do not have the courage to ask you the meaning of your words. We pray that you instruct your disciples on how to keep this divine current flowing. Otherwise, the hapless householders will be in distress. The wanderings of Paramahamsas are the only cool showers in the desert of Garhastya, family life. All of you should remain, Acharya said, all of you should remain firm in jnana. Padmapada, Sureshwara, Totaka and Hastamalaka are perfect Shrotriyas and Brahmanishtas. Let them reside in the four quarters of Bharata for the happiness and well-being of the world. Through them, the Upanishadic Dharma will continue as long as the moon and stars exist. There will flow many saints in their lineage. Intense dispassion, pure yogic practices and meticulous adherence to the path ordained by the Vedas will flourish through them. Brahma Vidya will be safeguarded only if Paramahamsa Dharma is protected. This is Sankaracharya's firm opinion. Brahma Vidya will be safeguarded only if the Paramahamsa Dharma, this Sannyasa Dharma, is protected. Self-knowledge can be attained by householders too. However, sannyasins with absolute renunciation are essential to safeguard the required upasanas, dispassion and purity. Therefore, Brihadaranyaka says, Etam vaitam atmanam viditva bhikshacharyam charanti. On the other hand, if the Shrauta Marga is not maintained, sannyasa will be destroyed. If the Upanishadic tradition is left aside, sannyasa also is useless. Therefore, be cautious. This path is suitable only for those endowed with dispassion. Lord, where will you stay? No one need worry about us. We will live in your hearts. Sarvesham atmabhudaha vayam. I am the self residing in the heart of all. Those who know the self know me. Yadakashavat sarvagam shantarupam param jyotihi आकारशून्यं वरेण्यं यदाद्यन्तशून्यं परं शंकराख्यं यदन्तर्विभाव्यं तदेवाहमस्मि. Here Sankaracharya himself gives the meaning for Shankara. He says peaceful, space-like, transcendental effulgence, formless, adorable, beginningless and endless, that which is known as Shankara. The absolute to be perceived within, that alone am I. Yadakashavat sarvagam shantarupam param jyotihi akarashunyam varenyam yadadyantashoonyam param shankarakyam yadantarvibhavyam tadevahamasmi. Declaring this, Acharya became absorbed in profound samadhi. Ghatakasham mahakasha ivatmanam paratmani vilapya akhanda bhavena Tushnima Samahamunihi. Just like in a pot there is space, outside there is infinite space. If the pot is removed, the inner space merges with the outer space. And no change actually. There is no actually merging also. It is already one. Ajaram amaram asta bhava vastu swarupam sthimita salilarashi prakyam akhya vihinam Shamita guna vikaram shashvatam shantamekam hridi kalayati vidwan brahmapurnam samadhau. Ajayam api jani yogam prapad aishwarya yogad agadi jagadi mattam prapad ekam hi anekam vivida vishaya dharma grahi mugdhekshananam pranata bhaya vihantri brahmayattan natosmi. Although birthless, appearing as if born by the power of Lord's Maya, although motionless, seeming to be in motion, although one, appearing to be many, appearing to be with several dharmas to the ignorant, and the destroyer of the fear of samsara for the devotees who have surrendered, to that Brahman I prostrate. Thus, auspiciously ends Atmatirtham. Shambhoho Murtihi Charati Bhuvane Sankaracharya Rupam. This is the Purti. Kalabhirindoriva kalpitangam mukta kalapaihi iva baddhamurtim alokaye deshikam aprameyam anadya vidya timiraprabhatam. Dakshinamurti's form, Acharya says, Dakshinamurti's body, generally we say golden color or like white color, like that. You know what he says? It is as if this moon, the moon, you break the moon and or shape the moon and make a body from moon. Like that is that form. Kalabhihi indoho iva kalpidangam mukta kalapaihi iva baddhamurtim alokaye deshikam aprameyam. The immeasurable. Anadi avidya timira prabhatam. This anadi avidya timira, that ignorance, beginningless ignorance, ends here. Swadaksha janusthita vamapadam padodaralankrita yoga pattam अपस्मृतेः आहिदपादमङ्गे प्रणौमि देवं प्रणिधानवन्तं तत्त्वार्थम् अन्ते वसतां ऋषीणां युवापि यः सन् उपदेष्टुमीष्टे प्रणौमितं प्राक्तनपुण्यजालैः आचार्यम् आश्चर्यगुणाधिवासम् एकेन मुद्रां परशुं करेण चान्येन मृगं दधानः स्वजानुविन्यस्तकरः पुरस्तात् आचार्यचूडामणिः आविरस्तु. So, thus we offer this 40 days of yajna at feet of Shankara Bhagavad-pada, and on the occasion of, we can say, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's Kumbhabhishekam. Exactly, tomorrow is the Kumbhabhishekam. So what can we do for Kumbhabhishekam? We cannot do anything. The only thing that we offer this satsanga. So today we are concluding this satsanga here, and tomorrow is Bhagavan's Kumbhabhishekam. Without our plan, things gets set in the right spot. Today is Ardra, star Ardra. So Ardra is the star of Shiva. Ardra is the star of Sankaracharya also. So it's Sankaracharya's star. Bhagavan's star is also in a way Ardra, because in Ardra day, Punarvasu Nakshatra, Bhagavan was born. So Shankaracharya's subject also, it is little, one Shankara Vijaya it is Ardra, another Shankara Vijaya it is Punarvasu, because both comes very near. So both is there. So it's Ardra is generally accepted, star is Ardra. Shankaracharya's star is Ardra. And today it happens to be the Ardra Nakshatra, which is special for Shiva, Agni. And on this day we are concluding this sacred yajna. Of course, it is all there in the videographed form. You can again and go and listen to this. Just like Atmatirtham, reading Atmatirtham, you can listen to the story also. Let the whole world get benefited by this life and teachings of Bhagavad-pada.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.